The aura, the aura, the aura. As the kids say, look, man, and I keep talking, and that's the theme of this video, right? You don't get aura if you don't have the good intentions. You don't gain aura if you don't give back to that Cleveland community that suffered that gas explosion, giving free things to them.
Seen him grow in his processing. And I also heard there's something about him. Aura is a good word, is what I was told.
Cleveland Browns players, specifically a lot of the younger guys, held the first ever Cleveland for Christ event, and Shedeur Sanders was there, giving his time like he normally has to Christ, but not only to Christ, but also like he normally has to his teammates and to his...
The locker room just made something crystal clear. Shedeur Sanders isn't being treated like a rookie anymore. After taking over as QB1, the respect from his teammates exploded almost overnight. Players are rallying behind him. Veterans are paying attention. Do you think Shedeur Sanders has already done enough to prove he's the leader of this team? Or do you believe he still has a lot more to show before earning that QB1 spot for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because what happened behind the scenes has Browns fans talking for all the right reasons. And once you hear how his teammates reacted, you might see this whole situation very differently. A lot of players can make highlights, but earning real respect from teammates is a completely different challenge. That doesn't happen because of a social media post. It doesn't happen because of a famous last name. It happens when people watch what you do every single day. Teammates notice who shows up. They notice who gives their time. They notice who treats people the right way when nobody is watching. And from everything coming out of Cleveland, Shedeur has been doing that from the moment he arrived. That's why the support around him keeps growing. That's why younger players connect with him. That's why veterans seem comfortable around him. People keep talking about his confidence, but confidence alone does not win over an entire locker room. Respect does. Actions do. Consistency does. And Shedeur keeps checking those boxes again and again. The most interesting part is that this story goes far beyond football. Players are seeing someone who is trying to make a positive impact everywhere he goes. That matters. It creates trust. It creates belief. And once that starts building inside a locker room, things can change very quickly. What makes this even more impressive is that none of this appears to be new for Shedeur. People who have followed his journey for years have seen this pattern before. They have seen him spend time with fans. They have seen him support young people. They have seen him give back to communities that needed help. Those things may never show up on a stat sheet, but they matter more than many people realize. Football teams spend countless hours trying to build chemistry, yet some players naturally bring people together. Shedeur seems to be one of those players. That is why his teammates continue speaking highly of him. They are not just watching a quarterback compete for a job. They are watching a teammate invest in the people around him. They are watching someone who understands that leadership is not only about what happens on Sundays. Leadership is about how you carry yourself every day. It is about how you treat people when cameras are not around. It is about whether your teammates genuinely want to follow you. And right now, it looks like more and more Browns players are buying into what Shedeur brings to the table. That is a powerful thing. Once a locker room starts believing in a player, momentum can build faster than anyone expects. And this is where the story becomes really exciting for Browns fans. Because the reports are not only about character. They are not only about community work. They are also about growth. People around the team have reportedly noticed improvement. They have noticed development. They have noticed progress. That should grab everyone's attention. A quarterback who is earning respect off the field is one thing. A quarterback who is also getting better on the field is a completely different conversation. Suddenly the excitement starts making sense. Suddenly the buzz around QB1 does not feel so crazy. This is why so many people are paying attention right now. Shedeur is building relationships. He is building trust. He is building confidence among the people who see him every day. And that may be the biggest reason why support for him keeps getting stronger. Plenty of players enter the league with talent. Plenty of players arrive with hype. Very few manage to make teammates believe in them this quickly. That is why this situation feels different. That is why the energy around Shedeur continues to grow. And if this trend continues, the rest of the league may soon understand what Browns players are already starting to see up close.
From what I understand, Shedeur Sanders has had a really strong last few weeks of OTAs. I've talked to people with the Browns who said that Shedeur has really impressed them. He's progressing really well. A little bit deeper into that. What does that mean? The biggest thing is they've seen him grow as he progresses down the field as a quarterback. Sometimes he holds on the ball too long. Talking to people there who really have an impact on this decision, they have seen him grow in his processing. And I also heard there's something about him. Aura is a good word, is what I was told there. And so look, do not count out Shedeur Sanders in this race. And I also thought it was interesting. Todd Monken said
The picture coming out of Cleveland is getting harder to ignore. Shedeur is not just in the mix anymore. He is forcing attention. Week after week in OTAs, he is showing real growth as a quarterback. People inside the building are clearly noticing it. The talk is simple but powerful. He is getting better at reading the field. He is learning when to hold the ball and when to let it go. That sounds basic, but in real football terms, that is where young quarterbacks either fail or rise. And right now, Shedeur is moving in the right direction. No panic, no collapse, just steady improvement. That alone is starting to change how people see him in the Browns system. What makes this even more interesting is how quickly opinions are shifting inside the team. Some days he is working behind others. The next day he is leading reps with the first team offense. That kind of rotation is not random. That is competition in real time. That is coaches testing pressure. And Shedeur is not backing away from it. He is stepping into it. He is handling it. He is learning fast. Reports from inside the camp also point to something deeper. His presence. His calm way of carrying himself. His confidence without noise. People are calling it aura. But what they really mean is respect. Teammates are starting to trust what they see, not what they heard before he arrived. That shift is big. Because once a locker room starts trusting a young quarterback, everything changes quickly. The tone in practice changes. The energy changes. Even the competition starts feeling different. And this is where things get serious for the Browns. This is no longer a simple QB battle story. It is becoming a real decision problem for the coaching staff. One day it is one quarterback leading first-team reps. The next day it is Shedeur doing it. That back and forth tells you everything. There is no fixed answer yet, no locked direction. And that is dangerous for the rest of the league. Because it means Shedeur is not fading under pressure. He is growing inside it. People around the team are even saying the timeline for a final decision might not be as quick as expected anymore. That alone shows how much he has changed the conversation. He is not just surviving the competition, he is shaping it. And when a rookie starts doing that inside an NFL quarterback room, it is not just progress anymore. It is a warning sign for everyone watching.
The aura is important, but I want y'all to know, ladies and gentlemen, and kids, if you're watching, aura is not simply just, oh, that's just Shedeur Sanders and he walks like that and he talks like that. No, he walks like that, he talks like that because of what he's done, because of his intentions. You gain aura, you gain that confidence, you gain a feeling, right? Because that, and it's something that has just been constantly said about Shedeur, no matter what the nerd stats say. And I like nerd stat. I'm a nerd. I'm a football nerd. I love a good nerd stat. But no matter what they say, and I've told y'all this, there's something that is undeniable about Shedeur. And I haven't told you that. Just told you that. The teammates have told you that. The coaches have told you that. Cameron Wolf has told you that. An NFL insider says, hey, we got the blunt truth. Hey, Shedeur holds on. And that's how I know it's the truth. They criticized him. Hey, Shedeur holds on the ball too long. However, what's undeniable is growth, is progression, is he's impressing me. It's that, my goodness, when he's in there, things operate a little different. The teammates feel a little different.
What people keep getting wrong is this idea that aura is just style, just the way someone walks, just how confident they look. That's not what's happening here with Shedeur Sanders. Real aura is not decoration. It is earned. It is built. It comes from action, from discipline, from intent, from showing up again and again and doing the work when nobody is clapping. That is why this story keeps growing. Because it is not based on vibes alone. It is based on what people inside the building are actually seeing. Coaches see it. Players feel it. Even critics are starting to feel it, whether they admit it or not. And the loudest truth here is simple. You don't fake that kind of presence in an NFL locker room. Either you earn it, or you get exposed fast. Now let's talk about the people who keep trying to downplay it. The so-called stat people, and loud critics who act like everything can be judged on numbers alone. Football has never worked like that. Never has. A quarterback is not just inside the facility, the message is different. Yes, there are mistakes. Yes, there are things to fix. Holding the ball too long gets mentioned. That is fair. But what matters more is what comes next. Growth, adjustment, progress. And that is exactly what insiders are pointing to with Shedeur. The same people who notice his flaws are also the ones saying he is improving fast. That combination is what real development looks like. Not perfection, not hype, real movement forward. And this is where the story becomes uncomfortable for his haters. Because the more they try to dismiss him, the more people inside the system keep noticing him. That is the part they cannot control. You can argue on social media all you want. You can question him from outside the building. But inside the team, the reaction is different. There is more trust forming. There is more confidence building. There is a different feel when he is on the field. That is what keeps getting repeated again and again. And it is starting to sound less like opinion and more like reality. Because even the critics are now forced to admit progress is happening. And when that happens, the entire argument shifts. Shedeur is not just surviving the noise anymore. He is rising through it. And the more he does that, the harder it becomes for anyone to pretend he is not part of the real QB conversation in Cleveland.
They say Shedeur is different, and it might not always show up on the stat sheet. It might not always look the part, but my God, the results, the passion that people play with, the want that he instills in people, the type of leader that he is, it makes people gravitate towards him. And you know, that just makes it even more. We ain't gotta get into all that. We gonna hold it, but let's get into a little bit of film, huh? And when I say a little bit, I really mean just the smallest amount of film. We had this clip coming out from the OTAs. I didn't get to see this one even during the week. They be putting these on Instagram. They put them here. They put them there. They be hiding them and stuff. I think this might be on Facebook. I don't know where they get. Yeah, I think this is Facebook. So they be hiding stuff. Shout out to Aaron Anderson. This is Shedeur Sanders to Aaron Anderson. First off, this ball is redonkulous. Redonkulous. My good. I mean, the ball placement is just woo-wee. My goodness. And this is
People keep saying Shedeur Sanders is different. And this is exactly why that word keeps coming back. It is not just talk. It is not just image. It shows up in how people around him react when he is on the field. You can feel it in the way teammates respond. You can see it in the way they lean in when he is leading a drive. And here is the part critics don't want to admit. It is not always about perfect stats or clean numbers on a sheet. Football is louder than that. It is energy. It is trust. It is belief. And right now, Shedeur is building all three at the same time inside that Browns building. That is why players are starting to stick to him. That is why younger guys are looking his way. That is why his name keeps coming up again and again in camp talk. Something is clearly clicking when he is out there. And then you see it on film. Even in small clips from OTAs, the kind people almost miss if they are not paying attention. There is a throw that stands out. Clean, sharp, right on target. Not just completed, but placed exactly where it needs to be. That is not luck. That is control. That is timing. That is a quarterback seeing the field and trusting his read. And the receiver in that moment is not some random name either. It is a young player trying to prove himself. And that matters. Because when a quarterback helps a teammate look better, that teammate remembers it. That is how trust is built play by play. No speeches, no hype, just execution. And this is where Shedeur keeps showing something people are slowly waking up to. He is not just throwing the ball. He is putting it where only his guy can make the play. That is why those inside the building keep reacting differently when he is in. And this is exactly why people close to the team say he is a favorite in that locker room. Not because of fame, not because of his name, not because of outside noise, but because of how he plays with them. He makes them better. Simple as that. And players notice that faster than fans do. They know who helps them look good. They know who trusts them. They know who puts the ball in the right spot so they can make a play and get noticed. That builds loyalty fast. That builds respect even faster. And that is why his teammates keep gravitating toward him more and more. You can argue making people around him believe. And when that starts happening in an NFL locker room, it does not stay quiet for long. And that's the real payoff here. Shedeur Sanders isn't just getting reps, he's getting respect inside that Browns locker room. And that changes everything about this QB1 race. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and stay tuned because this story is only getting started.